Good morning. Welcome to Monday. It's your early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day. Hopefully some words of comfort and guidance as well. And it is darn cold here. I think we are 11 degrees below normal. And I personally prefer it being cold to hot, but I know that cold is not a whole lot of other people's gigs. So, yes. Good morning to whomever just popped on. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. We'll see what we get for this conversation on this fine Monday. Excuse me, I got an itchy eye. It's Nancy. Good morning, Nancy. Welcome. Glad you are here. And today we have a deck that we have not seen in eons. Good morning, Angie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you are here. Hope everybody's staying warm. So this particular deck, the reason I bought this deck many, many years ago, and I had actually seen this deck at the bottom of one of the piles. Good morning, Joe Neal. Safe travels. Good morning, Barb. Welcome, welcome. It's kind of like it's Monday. It's a reset. Everybody's showing up today. Gotta love it. And I think this card is a fabulous way to start off a week. This deck, when I was going through and realizing that there were quite a few decks that hadn't seen the light of day in some time, I relocated this particular one to a spot of prominence in the heap, and it's still been like a week and a half since I did that. Today's the day. Divine right timing and divine right order. This is the deck that is presenting itself today. And several of you, your names are rolling more than once, so something good here for you. And this card uses one of my favorite words, magnanimous. Magnanimous. Good morning, Gwen. Welcome. Glad you are here. A couple of you were on yesterday's book club call for Unity Cafe, and that was really good. We had way more questions than we could answer, but we had some really good discussion about death and dying in America and how it has become a medical procedure instead of a natural force of nature. So we will be having, we'll be doing chapters 3 and 4 coming up. I think it's December 7th. So if you did not get the invitation for that one yesterday and you would like to participate, you got to let me know. So my email is bonnie@empowermentandpurpose.com, and then I'll get you added to the bulk email list and you'll get all the things. But it was really good. It was Being Mortal by Atul Gawande, and powerful stuff and good stuff to talk about. So, what else do I want to say? Oh, we're in the middle of my Black Friday coaching specials. So if you haven't received an invitation to coach with me by email, you can look on my business Facebook page, which is Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum Empowerment Coaching, and I've got it pinned to the top so it's easy to find. Sister was there. No worries. We'll do the one on December 7th. Hopefully you can make that one. Good morning, Beth. Welcome. Glad you are here. So without further ado, our card deck today is the Oracle of E deck by Pam Grout and Colette Baron-Reid. And if you have not read Pam Grout's books, E cubed and E squared, start with E squared. It is so thought-provoking, so thought-provoking. So to get ourselves, good morning, Maureen, welcome. To get ourselves into a good spot, let's do a little tapping. Pick your spot. The intention of this tapping is to ground us to Mother Earth and to open us to the divine. I'm glad you thought it was wonderful. I did too. It gave me a lot of things too. And I actually left our book club and then went and talked to my sister and my dad because they wanted to know what I was up to, of course. And so that was a good opportunity as well. It opened a door. So that was very helpful. So let's do a little breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth, feeling yourself opening, ready, receptive to this message. So the art on these cards is always fun too. It's sort of otherworldly. It's very techno, I think. So, Magnanimous Me. It's card number 27 if you actually have this deck. I'd be interested to see if any of you have this deck. Like I said, I decided to buy it after... Mom, I'm sure she was. But hopefully you and she had a great conversation after the fact. Magnanimous Me. And these are very short readings, but just take a breath. Let it go. Open to receiving Magnanimous Me. This is the time for your true nature to bloom. Bloom like a crocus in the spring. You are nothing but a big ball of love, and the only thing you really want is to love up on everyone. This is a good time to get in touch with that higher truth and free your generous spirit. Kindness, anyone? So there's, in that little handful of words, there's a whole lot of stuff, right? We're moving into holiday season. That's when Jonelle and I started our Common Ground conversations last year after having a conversation about how cranky people were with each other and how the divisiveness that was coming down from on high did not serve us. So we needed to show a united front between the two of us, even though we're in different portions of a political spectrum. We're not at the ends by any means. We're probably on the end of the middle. So I'm a little liberal, she's a little conservative. And interestingly, those titles don't even work because there's some things she's very liberal on and there's some things I'm very conservative on. So human beings don't get boxed up very well. They just don't. You can't put a label on somebody. Pick a label. Woman, man, liberal, conservative, northerner, southerner, whatever. You're going to find that people under that heading are probably more different than people across those headings. So we try really hard to box people up, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It gives us the illusion of some kind of understanding, which, how arrogant is that, right? I just think that the wise souls, the ones who've transcended, the ones who are on the other side, the ones who have a bigger picture are looking at us going, you guys, you are funny. You are really funny. Because, yeah, can we embrace all of the differences, these beautiful... I don't even know what to call it. Phantasmagoria of differences. That's what makes us interesting. That's what makes us fun to talk to. That's what makes us, us. So, I like this word magnanimous. Basically, it means you're unflappable with people. You allow others to be who they are. It's never linear. No. For some of us, it's the most convoluted thing ever. And I've had people say, and I know I've said myself at times, I don't know how I believe A and Z at the same time, but I do. It doesn't always make human sense. It makes divine sense. It absolutely makes divine sense, but it may not make human sense. So, and we should give up trying to jam it into the box that would make it make sense for us, because that just flattens it out, makes it bland and boring. Yeah. So, time for our true nature to bloom like a crocus in spring. I laughed when I read that you are nothing but a big ball of love. So think about it. What do you got going on today that you could exhibit your big ball of love? I'm going to the grocery store. The grocery store is a place that calls for big balls of love. Yep. When someone's got their cart right in the middle of the aisle, and they're not in there. Nobody's, they're looking at the lettuce. They're not paying attention to, I'm blocking her way. And when you kindly say, hey, can I move your cart so I can get past? Yes, it makes us colorful. Capital C. Absolutely. That person oftentimes will go, oh, sorry. like I'm going to yell at them. And I want them to have the experience of, not only do I not yell at them, I smile and I make a joke and I chat and then I move on. We need more of that. We need much more of that. We need to be kind. Let's see. Good time to get in touch with that higher truth and free your generous spirit. Fabulous. We'll shop together in different cities, in different stores. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Free your generous spirit. What would that look like? What would that look like today? Would it be letting someone get in line ahead of you because they've only got 3 items and you have a cart full? Would it be, chatting with someone in the aisle, just saying hello or just smiling, doing something pleasant, something pleasant? Kindness, anyone? And generous spirit. Right now, how many not-for-profits are freaking out because their funding has been cut? And how are they going to do their good work, right? We can cough up some money, can't we? Those of us who, even if you are tight yourself, I call it the experiment. And I oftentimes will have clients do this. And I've done it myself a bazillion times over the course of, graduate school when I'm working 3 jobs trying to pay for school. Extending what I had to others. So I was the person who, in graduate school, I was in Montana. I wasn't going to fly home for Thanksgiving when I was going to fly home for Christmas. So Thanksgiving, I'd invite over all the people who were doing the same thing I was. They weren't going to go home twice in a month. So we'd cobble together a Thanksgiving dinner. Sometimes it was lasagna. Didn't matter. But being generous with what you have. Being generous with what you have. There's something swirling around here. Hang on. I've been working on this. I've been working on expanding my, as Sterling would say, my clairs. My ability to hear what's not coming in physically auditorily. My ability to see what's not coming in physically visually. And for me, oftentimes it's the auditory or just that sense of knowing. And it feels like there's something swirling around there that is wanting to be articulated. Hang on a second. It's that concept of we don't lose anything when we share with others. We don't lose anything. Even if that person isn't appreciative, which sometimes happens, even if that person doesn't know we're the one who shared with them, regardless of how it turns out, hang on, gotta find it. Embrace the process and release the outcome. It doesn't matter if they get it. It matters that you shared it. So, what will you choose to share? How will you choose to share it? I think oftentimes it's very fun to share anonymously because it allows the person on the receiving end, I just noticed there's frost on the neighbor's roof. Ew. Good morning, Carolyn. Welcome. Let me show you our card quick. Magnanimous Me. Magnanimous Me. It's about being unflappable and kind and loving and humorous with others. Planting seeds for that to then ripple forth. If I do something kind for Carolyn and Carolyn does something kind for Angie and Angie does something kind for Joe, pretty soon we got a whole lot of kindness going on. And when we do a kindness for someone else, we benefit as well. Mostly in terms of feeling good about what we did. Again, hopefully regardless of how they respond. That's not the point. The point is that we feel like we extended ourselves to someone. And in this season when things can be tense and difficult and whatever, when people are having trouble putting food on the table, they sure as hell aren't going to be able to do much for Christmas for their kids, are they? So doing some of those things, maybe you see someone put something back on the shelf because you know she can't afford it for her kids for Christmas. Maybe you go and buy it and give it to her, right? Little things, little things, little things. And sometimes the littlest things aren't a big hairy deal to you, but they're a huge hairy deal to someone else. Tipping wait staff over the holidays. Be generous. Be very generous. The fact that we have the ability to go out to eat and they're working their tails off. You got lake effect snow. And I saw someone, it rolled too fast for me to catch it, but someone's husband's having surgery today. All right, everybody rub up your hands. Aim them. Sending good energy. I have a prayer group that I belong to that it's a prayer chain. Anytime anybody's got anything going on, we're sending good juju. And it's powerful, man. It is powerful. They were praying for my dad when he was in the hospital, and the bounce back has been phenomenal. Phenomenal. So sending energy. Sending good energy. Healing energy. And whenever you think of it, you might be in the middle of the grocery store. Send some energy all the way through the day. Oh, this is funny. As I'm sitting here and things are rolling, yeah, it's the bottom. Oh, must be Carolyn. At the bottom of that is the green heart. It looks like the green heart is sticking in my nostril. Sorry, little things crack me up. So, yes, sending good energy. Sending good energy. Yeah. And that is part of what's talked about in Pam Grout's books, is the power of energy and the power of energy to effect change, needed change, and that there is a point, and they've done a lot of research on this stuff. Some call it the 100th monkey, some call it the tipping point, some call it the 3.5% rule, but that there comes a point when enough people have their energy heading in a certain direction that things shift. They may not shift exactly in that human desired direction, but they shift in some way. They shift in a divine right order way. So, yes. So, what do you think of this? What do you think of this idea? Oh, and I'm noticing I got my favorite number 8 up there. Glad you're all here. So, being magnanimous, being kind, being loving, being unflappable. If someone loses their stuff all over you, not getting sucked into the fray, just, thinking to yourself, kind of a la Tosha Silver when she was standing in the line at the airport. She had stepped out to get her stuff organized and asked to step back in, and the woman blew up at her. And she was just kind of at a distance watching it going, wow, her life must not be good. She must not be getting what she needs in life at all. She wasn't taking it personally. She was just watching this woman melt down, knowing that the woman certainly had a ton of unmet needs. What a magnanimous way to view it, right? Very magnanimous way to view it. So that is our mission for today. We're going to send healing vibes to Carolyn's hubby, and we're going to look for opportunities to be kind, to maybe crack a little joke to loosen someone up a bit, to hold a door for someone who's carrying a car seat and pushing a cart, all the things, all the things. That's what we're calling forth from ourselves today, kindness and love. See you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.